Pretty awesome stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So instead, like for those of you who maybe haven't done seminars are like, the value is like, hey, an expert is giving you like kind of like an information overload. It's all connected, right? It makes total sense. But obviously, we could spend a lifetime or career in any one of these entries, right? So I know like the purpose of this is like expose you to it, right? He was kind enough. We were recording some of these. We're going to put it on the team page for the team and affiliates to study and watch. Get reps in, right? Now go back and be like, oh, I'm going to work on that. Those remembering the grips for 2 months, right? And then do other stuff, right? So this stuff is to like throwing you in the deep end of technique, but there's no reason you can't learn this if you drill it. It's really like everything we do in jiu-jitsu is like actually to a normal person is really hard and esoteric. And like, what? How do you do that? Everything we do, right? The things you take for granted. So this you can get. I'm going to hand it over to Professor Danny. Then we're going to do some promotions again. Yeah, any last words?
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really hope you enjoyed the material. Start looking for heel hooks. Like you guys know a couple of the positions, a couple of the entries. Start looking for it. You're gonna fail a million times. I mean, I can't even count the amount of times I've gotten my guard passed and mounted by like a white belt as a black belt learning stuff. And it doesn't matter. It's just jiu-jitsu. This is such a stupid thing we do. You enjoy it. So, just keep working on the same thing, like spamming the same entry over and over and over until all your training partners hate you and see it coming. That's how you know you got it good. But thank you again. That's all I got. Thank you, Elise.
That was amazing. I mean, I can't like emphasize enough. Like we're, a small organization. I mean, a lot bigger than we used to be, right? But for someone to be so generous and their family be so generous, to come from another state and to do this for free ball, it's just really amazing. And it's as good or better than any of our other friends who have ever done these seminars. And many of you know all the people who've had do seminars here, and this is this goal. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We've got some promotions to do. We've got some stripes. If you make sure that people here that have stripes. If you have your belt, we'll do it. If you don't have your belt, we're doing no-gi. It's symbolic, and next time you get your belt, we'll put it on. Where is it? Is Eric here still? Oh, my glasses on. I might have to go to work. All right, do you have your belt on you?
Yeah, do it.
Bring your belt, sir. So in between belts, we give out some stripes. It's 4 stripes and then the next belt. We're really pretty stingy with them. Like, and belts don't have to matter, but for people that are really testing themselves and then good teammates to one another, and then test themselves in competition once they've gotten comfortable in training, we like to give some external recognition of what you've already done. At the time I gave it to him, he didn't have his belt on and we were going to private and no-gi, but Eric hasn't been with us for too long, but he's made the most of it. He comes, where you did the competition yesterday in Oklahoma? Mm-hmm. You may have realized it's not close to here. Eric will come on, on public transportation and get here and train right before jumping on and doing like 2 shifts in a row. He comes to seminars. He's competing now. He does privates when he can. He's not a billionaire, neither am I, and he still does privates. He's doing everything he can. He's fighting hard. So I already told him, so next time I see you with the belt, we're going to do what you've already earned. Just a little symbolism, your first stripe on this one. Let's give him a round of applause. I'm not doing this to be an asshole suspenseful like Top Chef. I'm literally so I'm trying to see this. So I think for stripes, I think the next one actually, and it's good because I want to take a moment to recognize them. Danny loves the gi, Danny Arroyo. So I don't know. I'm assuming he has his belt on. But do you have your belt today? Can you get your belt? All right. You know you have it. Inside joke there is Danny's gym, Danny Arroyo's gym, Arroyo Grappling is all no gi, right? So but we have the belt for formal occasions. Danny's been training for well over a decade. He was kind enough to join his established, hardworking, accomplished team out of Iowa City to the foundation affiliation, and really honored. They do hard work like this, like come all the way to Chicago. You all do day trips. Like come here the same day, leave the same day, right? He puts on tournaments at really affordable rates for people. They go do work in their community. They're doing clothing drives. It's doing amazing stuff. Every time I see students, whether they're new or they've been with you for a minute, everyone just gets so much better each time I see them, which is because it's great instruction, right? And great teamwork. And Danny's just like really good at jiu-jitsu too, right? So he's underranked, but we're working our way towards an appropriate rank for him. And I really appreciate him and all his work he's put in. So let's give him a round of applause for that. I think that's that for stripes. There are people, I don't think he's here, but like I'll give this little talk so you can next time you see him, you can, I don't know if it's worthy of congratulations or what, but you can encourage him to say what's up. Brendan is not here, is he? Right, Brendan? Yeah. So Brendan's been with us for a couple of years. He's had a lot of injuries, all of us had the pandemic, but he's had a lot of different stuff going on. He stayed really consistent, he was just doing jiu-jitsu, and then he had some injuries and he couldn't roll or drill, so then he's like, okay, I guess I'll start doing the kickboxing classes. And then he hurt his right shoulder, so he's just working on his chest, right? He's just doing what he can. He comes in when he can, and he's doing really awesome. And the second Brendan competes, he's gonna get his blue belt. So there are people that are getting their blue belts that are today. They haven't been with us as long as Brendan, but it's not like a punch card here either, right? Brendan's awesome, he's done everything. And the second he competes, whether he goes out there and dominates, whether he goes out there and fights hard and it's here and there, he wins some, lose some, or if he goes out there and pukes, I don't care. He's going out there and testing himself and facing some really scary situation. Stranger who's trained to choke him and he shows up and agrees to do it, that's scary, and you deserve credit for trying that up in training. So Brendan will get there soon. We're all out of stripes for him, but he's but as soon as he competes, he's gonna get a blue belt, and he's just working through his latest PT round, so hopefully he'll get some more rolls in soon. So anyway, he's not here to hear that, but your teammates will tell him, right? That's not how we're taking it. We'll pass progressively some of that tape. There are some people that have been competing really consistently since they joined. They all had experience beforehand, but they really stepped it up and been competing, and they're to start fighting. Some of them doing multiple fights in one day recently, and they're just like all of us. They're just regular people with jobs. So they're doing what they can and working and trying to push themselves a little bit more. As a side note, they fought really well. They're good. But the most important thing is that they're training hard and they're really cleaning stuff. And that bravery is its own reward. But again, I don't like to keep people back. They got to stop sandbagging. So we got some blue belts to give. We're gonna start off with someone who. He's still here. First one to do, someone who is just super consistent. He said, all right, I'm signed up. This is the day, these are the days I'm gonna train. Here's where I'm coming from. Again, I had to train to get here. He's not from around here. A lot of you walk here and that's awesome. We love the neighborhood. These are the days I'm gonna come. He's never not during the days. I can say this, I think, because he even posted it, but you on social media might have seen he's here today, he's training today. I think at least a day or two ago, he was in the hospital. He competed this past spring, fought super hard. He's been training for years. It's well past overdue. We're really honored that he chooses to train with us. So it's Mike Cho for his blue belt. Heather will actually like tie this for you later and you know how to do it. But here's my bad tying of the belt because I never learned how to do this.
I learned the taekwondo, so.
Did you? Okay, see? We'll start with this. Yeah. It's like in and out. In here, out the other ear, Shoni.
It's a Olympic sport. I took time off of jiu-jitsu because I had cancer, and it's a real good reason to take time off of jiu-jitsu. And then when I came back, I was really afraid to go back to my old gym because of the culture there and how they would treat me for like being away from training or for choosing a different place to train, someplace where I felt was more open and more comfortable and just a better crew to train with. And I haven't looked back since. I don't care about my old gym. This is my home, and it's been a great year. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shoni. So, next two also been trained for years. I know it's funny, you get in, some of you are really new here, and so like I've been communicating with you recently, like on the phone line, text and call, and you say what you're interested in, what you're looking for, and what your goals are and all that. It's always really fun. A lot of times, like people who are like, have something to say like, oh yeah, so I really want to compete, I really want to like fight, and it's like you never see these people, or they train for 2 seconds, and then they're like, it just doesn't happen. Usually, it's not the people that are talking about it, right? This next person, from the start, over messages, was talking about it in a different way. It wasn't boastful at all. It was like really humble still, but saying like, I trained, I want to fight again, because he'd already fought. I really want to compete as much as possible, and that's just, I really, he said kind things about what he had seen about us, and on social media and all that, which I appreciated. But he's just like gone way above it, right? I said the first part to say this, like, not ever since, and I realized he was just telling me like his goals so that we can help support him. He is, by and large, like, now the quietest person, but if you come and say, hey, will you go work with this person to help this new person? Yep, got it. Hey, we want to do another round? Yep, you want to do 3 more rounds? Yep. The other weekend, hey, do you want to do fights? Yep. I injured his fucking leg 3 weeks before his fight. Not on purpose, but and he stayed in the fight. We had, and then we're there, fights. Okay, you want to do another fight? Yep. It's quietly, right? He's more than this. He's fought now between MMA and kickboxing at least 4 times. He's been doing jiu-jitsu competitions. Again, he happens to be good. He's getting really good because he puts in the time, right? But most importantly, he's testing himself. He's super, super kind. He quietly has even more radical politics than me, which is awesome. So we appreciate that. And this is for Steven Rosario. If you want a blue belt, I've said this before in the stripes. If you want a blue belt, this man has fought 4 or 5 times now, done a bunch of tournaments. Talk to me after you fought 4 or 5 times, maybe, and then we'll see about that. He's working hard.
Where do you go, Steve?
By the way, if you get a belt that you like better or fits you better, it's okay to let it sell, right? This is about keep this and put it up. He's too slim for this A3 probably, but you want to say something.
I really appreciate all you guys. Like, I couldn't have gotten this without any of you. You guys make it so welcoming, and like, this is home. Exactly what Mike said. This is home. You guys are family. I really appreciate every one of you for all the help that you do.
Thank you. Sorry, brother. All right. Last blue belt. Today we'll go to another one of our brave members who's been competing a lot. Another giant slayer too, right? So the same fights. We went up to another state, another city, another gym, and he was down to fight whomever, including someone who is like at least 2 weight classes heavier, at least. We have to take it Sunday. Go look for yourselves if we do it. I thought they snuck Francis Ngannou in there for a second. It was a like huge and lean dude, and like fought really well. But also like in addition to just being brave and really good and technical, this is super generous, always giving. Like even just yesterday we have, like you saw on social, we have a bunch of new additions to our library there. So he brought in some great stuff. We've got like critical theory. We've got some like several Adorno books. We've got Capital Volumes 1 through 3. We've got like neuroscience stuff, a lot of that, and then just donated a bunch of stuff. Always giving, always willing to help out, always willing to jump in any and all the classes. Just a really, really good energy, and just again, really, really skilled. If you've been here from anybody, know what I'm talking about. Braden, we're super lucky to have him here. Let's get him up here for a
Didn't matter.
Keep going.
Repetition.
If you want to say something, you're welcome to.
I'm bad at speeches, but thank you all. I trained before COVID, took off for 2 years in like the waves and the school and all that, and I got COVID, and then I saw Supplier here, and I haven't looked back. It's like a great place to be. Thank you all very much.
All right, we got a couple purple belts to give out today. I feel like that's a pretty. If you're at a place with tough standards, that's a pretty high. That's a pretty high level thing to achieve for what it's worth. Both the people who are getting purple belts here are pro fighters for years. Have been beat, like still like in their 40s, just love jiu-jitsu, and so they're competing still jiu-jitsu, and like been beating purple belts and blue belts for a while in competition. So like they're really underranked. We'll do the first one as a means. I mean, for an hour and a half, y'all been training with Tim and his daughter, so hopefully you've gotten to meet him a little bit. But for those of you who's their first day here in the academy, as a lot of you know, I'm working on a PhD downstate in Carbondale. So I'm down there the last like 9 months, I'm down there most of the time. And while down there, downstate, I've got to train a lot with Roger, Allie, his daughter, and like a lot of other really great people over there. Because he's a great dude, because he's also like, over 200 pounds and like, well, a lot over 200 pounds, and me too. Like, we can train a lot together, right? And he's been really, really awesome. And long story short, us training together, and my competition goals, the team's competition goals. It seems like the vibes with what Roger wants to do. He's just woefully underranked, and the reason he wants to rank for like the best reason, he wants to do the national tournaments against the higher ranked people, right? Because like IBJJF won't let you just go and throw on go do purple or brown if you don't have that rank, right? Like that's just a beautiful thing to me. If someone's like, hey, the reason I want this is not about the recognition, it's just so I can face tough competition, right? And it's time, right? He just won at blue belt the St. Louis IBJJF Open. Before that, they both went to the national tournament, ADCC Open, which is a tough open. Like Rose Namajunas did that. Like a lot of pros did that stuff. He won that one. He beat purple belt there. So I mean, it's just like you just got to do what's right. I'm in a position to do it. Really love being a trainer, Roger, and I mean he's we have great people we train with down there. There's a ton of really good folks down there, and it's been awesome. So we're gonna do the ranking, and we'll hopefully do some national tournaments together and do all that type of stuff. But this is Roger, this is Alan. Let's please give them a warm welcome while he gets his purple belt. had a team of 5 people hired to stitch this ankle for your 200.
Man, I don't even know. I know you guys just met me, or just meeting me for the first time. I've lived a wild life. Like I should not be here right now. I have been all over the world doing crazy stuff. I've been in cages. I actually was on a fight car with Shoney in Wisconsin Dells years ago.
Way back.
Yeah, way back. I have done horrible things to my body to break it and somehow repair it. My poor wife over there at the Dreads has dealt with all my insanity in pro wrestling and catch wrestling and traveling the world and has picked thumbtacks out of me. I'd had some real bad injuries. Jiu-jitsu was not supposed to be something I was allowed to ever do again. And I lucked out and got healthy and learned new ways to train and got a chance to win. And luckily, got to meet Elias, which I could not be ready for ADCC and some of that without him. Like, guys were going for knee bars. Like, nobody would train like that to me. But, like, if it wasn't for him, like, my knee probably been popped again. I love jiu-jitsu. I love all forms of grappling. I think it's the greatest thing you can do, literally for your life. It'll leak into every part of your life. It's amazing. And luckily I get to do it with one of my children. So I'm happy to be here, happy to get this. I can't thank you all enough.
Thank you, Joe. Last one. This continues in the vein of correcting people that are just like severely underranked. Who's underranked when joining us? It's been one of my since you joined, since you moved to Pilsen, I feel like one of my main sparring partners that I had. Just a wonderful guy. You know, everyone knows he's tough as nails, and like he could any given day beat anybody in the world of any type of rule set. But also just a really like wonderful person. Like super sweet. Always down to help others. You know, like again, like everyone else, like in between like 3 or 4 different jobs and like, you know, trying to help the world all in his own ways. You know, his own ideas for nonprofits and all sorts of stuff. Just a great dude. He came to us with like no jiu-jitsu ranking, which is absurd. He fought for years, so best in the world. He fought as a pro. He had really good technique already, but more importantly, like he just came like really wanting to learn other stuff. Often, like even though he can like throw most people around, he just works on pulling guard. He's always, you know, trying to compete when he can. Still wants to fight even more, and it's a wonderful dude. Again, it's towards the path of getting him properly ranked, but step by step, we'll get there. This is for Big Dan. It's a microaggression. Don't smile at me.
Thanks for the great seminar. Pleasure training with everybody. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, brother. This is a wonderful day. I want to congratulate everyone that got promoted. I really want to thank Coach Danny and his team for coming here. That shows just real dedication, not because you're coming here. It just shows like a hunger for jiu-jitsu. They're hosting seminars, they're bringing people in. I really respect that. So let's specifically give a round of applause to Royal Grappling for coming. We have a couple new members who literally like took their first class with us this week and then signed up. They wanted to make sure they can come and do the seminar. I was like, hey, this is for members only. And they're like, all right, I'm in. So make sure if you're a member here and you see people you don't know, everyone here is like a friend, team, on the team at this point. So like, say hi if you don't know. So make sure you welcome them. We have folks who like just now, like the partners or members, and just now like, all right, I'm ready to join up. Like, so I want to give a collective round of applause to our new members who are working hard on a seminar on Sunday and are keeping a lot of joy. And I am in a moment gonna like rudely run out and to first family birthday party, 1-year-old's birthday party. That started like an hour and a half ago that I didn't get to. So I want to do that. Coach Heather will be closing up, so she's the boss. Enjoy each other, grab some snacks, and then when she tells you to leave, leave. I can't say enough, this was so awesome. I'm going to be studying this stuff like for the next 6 months, and so we're going to be drilling it. Professor Danny, thank you so much for this, brother. Let's shake each other's hands, grab some snacks, and thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all.